I'm 64 because I'm not there yet. But I am Gen X, and I continue to be surprised. I have two older siblings. Continue to be surprised at the way the cohort, just slightly older than me, continues to rewrite the rules of how we live and how we can live. And it's an honor to be part of this conversation, not just in Montclair at its finest, thinking ahead, thinking progressively, which characterizes, I think, all of its best planning and architectural moves the last 150 years, but to be part of this specific competition. It's been an honor. So, good afternoon. I've written my comments down, what Gen X does. Although, well, yeah, no, that's what I do. So my partner in this presentation, as you've heard, is Dr. Gloria Essoka, and we are awarding the best in category for entries between 800 and 1,200 square feet to House of Openings, designed by Louie, Apostol. Of the 31 total entries, only just five, attempted an ADU larger than 800 square feet. That was a surprise to me, since a larger ADU affords the possibility of not only having 2 or even maybe 3 bedrooms, but it's a chance for designers to show off their skills with adding amenities, overall space making. After thinking about it, I realized that the fact that the great majority of entries were 500 or 800 square feet really spoke to the goals of the competition and the need, which is really about emphasizing efficiency, accessibility, and affordability. And all of those necessitate being as clever as possible within the least amount of square footage possible. But House of Openings is a very clever design. Compared to the other entries in the size range, it definitely does more with less, and it does it with elegance. The board is the 4th one down, and you can see part of it here. There are a couple of renderings certainly worth looking at as well up close. Some of you might want to know or be interested to know that the overall form originates in ancient Greece. It's characterized by rooms surrounding an open courtyard. This arrangement maximizes light transmission from outside to in and inside to out. You can read in Louie's narrative how impactful this is in terms of being aware of and experiencing the garden and the landscape outside, whether you are just enjoying it through the glass or actually being invited outside. And because of the courtyard in the middle of this home is also an opportunity for landscape that you are literally living around, a very special condition. But this arrangement also facilitates natural airflow for cooling the house and clean air exchange, very important subjects today, especially post-pandemic. And depending on window placement, this kind of arrangement with rooms around an open court provides a very high degree of control in determining the amount of privacy the spaces around that courtyard experience. So this gives this kind of design a lot of flexibility in terms of how it may or may not face a neighbor or homes near, the immediate primary home that's on the lot. House of Openings incorporates other strategies for green and humane living. With all its roofs pitched toward the central courtyard, 100% of the stormwater that falls on the dwelling collects there. It's held below ground. It's filtered, and then it's repurposed as gray water for reuse in the bathroom. It could also be used for laundry. It could also be used for running a dishwasher. One of the things that set apart Louie's proposal was that she didn't just name the fact that she would have stormwater management or that there'd be gray water. She described how each of these things would work and be used. And that kind of rigor deserves recognition. It's also a big deal in town. Some of you, if you haven't caught up, you need to know that stormwater now has to be managed entirely on site. This has to do with being a good neighbor, not having runoff end up on your neighbor's property. But one of the special things about Louie's design is that she's not only figured out how to keep the water on site, but very aggressively collecting it in the very middle of her home and then reusing this new resource. In terms of gentle densification, the project is low-key. It presents really, I think, more as a small pavilion than a second house on the lot. Kip talked about that challenge of the obvious solution is to just do a mini version of the house or kind of a close echo of a primary home. I felt, and I think other jurors felt, that the simplicity of this project showed us a way to create a secondary dwelling that could complement the primary home, but reduce the possible perception that our neighborhoods are at risk of looking or feeling overcrowded as two homes spring up on lots that previously were zoned for one dwelling. Last, and this is no small feat either, all of this was done through the creation of, I would say, form and space that's modular. It's very deceptive. It derives from this very simple, repeated, single-pitched roof that's used on all four sides. This means that the framing and construction for a building like this can proceed easily, faster, and cost less than dwellings with multiple pitched roofs or gables. And this kind of structural rigor also means the design could easily have been made more compact. So it could have been quite competitive with the 575 and 800 square foot units. But even at a more compact form, I think it would have retained all of its essential qualities and benefits. You can tell I really like this project. All of that in a student project is very welcome. It's an incredible level of sophistication and adaptability for any ADU design. So well done.
I really wasn't going to say anything, but I'll say a bit because I did look at Louie's poster. I was impressed. It is so aesthetically pleasing. It looks so spacious, and I thought I could certainly live in a place like that. I could move out of my house and live there. But it is just so beautifully beautiful. Honestly, it will be in my memory. On behalf of the contribution, the matching grant of Partners for Health Foundation, I'm really so pleased to present this to you. And I know you're going to be a successful architect, and I expect to hear great things about you in the future.